So if you're watching this video, you're probably already thinking about making the move to Las Vegas, and you're wondering what's the difference between Henderson and Summerlin and which one's better. So don't worry, I got you covered. My name is Steve Carter. I'm a Las Vegas native, and I've been a real estate agent here in town for over 6 years. I absolutely love the city. I've got a family of my own, and I love helping people move here and find the best spot for them. So if you're watching this video, you are in the right spot. First off, we need to discuss that Henderson and Summerlin, although they're both great, they're not apples to apples. We're not comparing the same thing. Henderson is its own city, and Summerlin is a part of Las Vegas, but it's not its own city. It's an unincorporated town located in the west side of the Las Vegas Valley, and it's just a really, really large HOA. It's a fantastic master plan community, and Henderson has everything. They do have communities that might seem similar to Summerlin, but then they have everything else in between, from trailer parks and mansions, so it's not as cohesive as Summerlin, and we'll get into that in a minute. Now, along with that, Henderson is going to have its own fire department and their own police department, and Summerlin is going to share the same stuff, fire department and police department, from Las Vegas. As far as the size goes, Summerlin's about a third the size of Henderson, but Henderson's going to have almost twice the population of Summerlin. Now, all of Summerlin is located in a homeowners association. It's a big master plan community. So if you're not a fan of those, or you want to be able to paint your boat in your driveway, don't even look there. Just go look in Henderson, or go looking at other areas of Las Vegas, because you're not going to find what you're looking for. Now, but if you are looking for maybe some horse properties, or wanting to put a big shop in the back of your house, or even lots more land or a well, you'll have a lot more of those options in Henderson, because you're not going to find any of that in Summerlin. Now, what Summerlin does have are cohesive neighborhoods that work and flow with all the walking trails, the parks, and the schools, and kind of just make it a nice, unique look, including the shopping centers. Like when you're at a McDonald's in a shopping center in Summerlin, you're like, this feels like Summerlin. Everything's was master planned. As far as the aesthetic of the homes, it really ranges. Summerlin was kind of started in the early 90s. So you have more traditional, more Spanish style homes, and then now we have more modern and contemporary style homes. Anything that's been built in the last 6 to 5 years is going to be pretty modern in design. And Las Vegas, we do tend to build more on the outskirts of the valley, because that's where the land's at. One of my favorite things about Summerlin, and I don't live there, if you're starting to get the impression that I'm a big fan of Summerlin, I am. I'm also a big fan of Henderson, but I don't live in either of them, so this is non-biased. But one of my favorite things to do while I'm visiting Summerlin, and I'm at one of the parks or visiting a friend's house, is the mountains. You're really, really close to Red Rock National Conservation Area. You're really close to the Spring Mountain Range. So it's just really stunning when you're at the Paseos Park or Fox Hill Park, and you're just getting these crazy mountains, especially as the sun's going down. It's quite a sight to see. Now, Henderson's not without its own sights and beautiful scenery. They have some really good strip views. They're just not immediately close to the mountains that I feel like are the most famous. We have mountains all around the valley, but the mountains that are most famous, which is Red Rock and Spring Mountains, which houses Mount Charleston. Now, Henderson still does have some communities that can give you that Summerlin vibe, with curated communities and walking paths, golf courses, all that. They're just not going to be as cohesive. So once you leave one specific neighborhood, it might be completely different on the other side. It's not going to necessarily have a designed flow. So if that's something you care about, yeah, I've even noticed one of the communities in Lake Las Vegas. It's a really pristine, upscale, affluent area of Henderson. As soon as you get out of there, there's old Henderson built in the 40s. It can be kind of run down. So I know they're building a lot more out there to kind of have it be a little bit, more upscale, but still it's a pretty drastic thing just crossing the street over there. Now, some of the most affluent areas in the entire Las Vegas Valley are located in Summerlin. You have Red Rock Country Club, you have the Ridges, you have the Summit. That's where Mark Wahlberg and some of the other celebrities are moving recently. And that's all on the west side of the valley in Summerlin. Now, Henderson still has some of those nice affluent areas as well, if that's something you're interested in. They have Anthem, they have Seven Hills, they have even some nice areas in Inspirada, and of course they have McDonald Highlands and Lake Las Vegas. For shopping and dining, Summerlin has an amazing hub called Downtown Summerlin. You have outdoor eateries, you have great bars, great restaurants, retail shops, you can buy furniture there, and they also do really cool events year-round. Holidays they do parades, ice skating rink in the winter. In the summer months, they even have a music festival series where they bring somebody once a week to their grassy area. Really, really cool, and you're right in the mountains. Mountain views, that is. Now, Henderson has a lot to offer when it comes to food and shopping as well. It's just a little more spread out. The really large street called Eastern, that's gonna go north to south. Actually, it makes some weird turns, but that street has just about every food you could think of, from In-N-Out to an amazing hibachi place or a nice Italian spot. You just might have to drive a little bit more, and there is a lot of traffic there. If you're wanting more of an outdoor walkable spot, the District at Green Valley Ranch is a fantastic place to go. Go to REI, get a nice dinner, and then maybe even mosey on into your locals casino, which is right there at Green Valley Ranch. And you can go see a movie, get a, gamble if you'd like. They've got lots of amenities there, and it's great for staycations and spa days. And the equivalent to Green Valley Ranch Casino would be Red Rock Casino in Summerlin, where you can do just about all that too. Now let's talk about the climate for a second. We all know Las Vegas gets hot, but if you could save 5 or 7 degrees on a really hot summer day, that's probably worth a lot to you. So it's noted that Summerlin is at higher elevation than Henderson. So depending on what area we're talking about, you can definitely see a range of 5 to 7 degrees by being in the higher elevation of Summerlin. Now, as far as affordability goes, Summerlin tends to be a little bit more expensive, but it really does depend on the area you're talking about and picking, gated community to gated community. Is it a golf course? Like, all of that is very, very important. So I would definitely consider looking at both. But overall, they seem to be a little bit more expensive, but that's also where the trend for appreciation tends to be as well. Summerlin seems to have a little bit higher appreciation as a whole. Now, it is to be noted that Henderson does have lots of areas that have the same kind of appreciation that you can get in Summerlin, but just for the name of Summerlin, where people all know, it seems to appreciate a little bit on the higher end. Now, safety is a big thing when you're moving to a city that you're not very familiar with. And as much as I'm happy to talk about where I would have no problem moving with my family, so if you want to schedule a call, we could definitely talk about that, any questions you have about Las Vegas. But another good thing to do is to definitely check out maps like crimemapping.com or any of the websites provided by the local police departments, so you can kind of see which areas and zip codes and neighborhoods tend to be a little bit better for what you're used to or what you would like to have. Henderson's been consistently ranked as one of the safest medium-sized cities to live in the US, which is a great, great accolade they could have. And both areas offer gated and non-gated communities, so you can feel as safe as you would like to. This is actually the first year that I've lived in a gated community, and it's been absolutely fantastic. My wife can actually sleep at night when I'm gone. Crazy. At the end of the day, when you're talking about safety, do your research and reach out if you have any questions. Now, when it comes to schooling, I think both Summerlin and Henderson have some really good options. Definitely do your research. You can get online at like ccsd.com and kind of see where the schools rank. But for the most part, like Palo Verde and Summerlin's got great reviews, great ratings. Lots of people will move just to put their kids in that school zone. And then the same with like Coronado and Henderson. Those seem to be the big 2 public schools, but there's also really good private schools and charter schools. So I think you could have some really good options. Just make sure, of course, do your research. So after hearing me spew out all this stuff about Summerlin and Henderson, what would you prefer, Summerlin or Henderson? Leave it down in the comments below so I can kind of see. I really think at the end of the day, it's up to the individual. It's up to what you and your family need. So if you are ready to kind of start your journey about moving to Las Vegas, whether it's 30, 60, or 100 days out, I don't care, 2 years, give me a call. We can kind of schedule something and get you in the books to kind of see what a good roadmap would be for you to live your best Las Vegas life. Thanks for watching.